And what is included in the kit is 3 clutch weights. We'll be using the 3.1 gram solid rivet with the black and violet secondary spring. Just like that, a rivet is installed. There it is. That's our clip. Primary is also installed. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Dylan. You're watching Western Farm Garage. Got a new mic setup today. All right, we got the little Bluetooth mic action going on right now, so it's pretty sick. I hope the audio turns out better than what it normally is, but we got a little bit of a cool video today, actually. So got the old Can-Am back here in the shop, right? And I got the clutches taken off. Why, you may ask? Well, I will insert a clip after this. You may recall at some point in time when I was riding this, basically when I first got it, it had a squeal when I would put it in high and I would hit the gas, it would squeal and the belt would squeal. So that's good. And I was like, okay, maybe the clutches are just dirty. No, the belt was bad. That's what the problem was. The belt was, I mean, it's not terrible. It could definitely be used in case of my new one going out, but it is past its lifespan. So today, what we got going on is we got a little box from HunterWorks in here. So we're gonna open it up and I'm gonna show you guys what I got. All right, I'm gonna try to cut this open one-handed. There we go, got it. All right, so within this box we have a few different things. This is a clutch tool because I needed one. So this is what I'm going to be using to tighten the clutches back up and whatnot. And then what else we got in here? Aha, we got a clutch kit. We got the DBO 850M. So this is going to be the primary and the secondary spring. And we got the secondary belt tool to put the belt on. All right, we got our primary, secondary weights, and the rivets, which we will need to look at those instructions because those instructions are very important. So I'm gonna get all this brought over here to the bench and kind of get the bench cleaned off a little bit, and we'll go from there. All right, over here on the bench, we have, our primary clutch. Don't do what I did. Try to keep these together. This is your primary bolt. This is your sheave. Make sure you hang on to this bolt. I mean, this sheave, because you've got to have this. Then your washer. Just set that aside. And then you can pull out your, I forgot what you call this. I've already got my clutch all cleaned up because my belt was definitely worn because, there was a bunch of belt residue and everything in here. So all my clutches are already cleaned. I just sprayed them out with some brake clean. I did that off camera just because for the sake of video. So we got all of our clutch stuff cleaned up. And what is included in the kit is 3 clutch weights. So we're gonna open this bag up. Okay, these are our clutch springs. This is the primary right here, the primary spring. You know it's the primary because it's the shorter of the 2 springs. And this is the secondary spring. It's longer and it also has these tabs on the end, which you'll see where those tabs go later. Okay, so we got that. And then we have our weights, which is right here. And you have like a set of rivets for the weights. So I will need to look at the instructions and see what exactly weights I should be using, because you can't just throw any random weight in there. You got to use a specific one. So I'm going to read over the instructions real quick and I will let you know. All right, so in the instructions, it says right here, I'll try to highlight it during editing. 29.5-inch larger tires. Use black and violet secondary spring, obviously, and the provided primary spring. And then for the setup, for 29.5-inch and 30-inch tires, which is what I have 30-inch cryptids, we'll be using the 3.1 gram solid rivet with the black and violet secondary spring, okay? And that would be this one right here. They even so kindly have it, which I don't know if it'll pick it up because of the glare. There we go, 3.1 gram, okay? So, easy peasy. Now, you may be wondering, how exactly do we install these? Well, I will be showing you. In the instruction manual, it says to use a vise, but I feel like we will probably get by with just using our handy-dandy hydraulic press right there. So, let's see if I can bring you guys over there so I can show you up close. All right, we are over here at the hydraulic press, and we have our weights. So pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this weight down flat on here like so. I'm actually going to, like that. And then, pretty simple, we're just going to start jacking down our hydraulic press. All right, so I don't know how well you can see, but we got it pretty close to center on there. About as close as I'm going to get it anyway. Then we are just going to press that weight in. And as I press it in, it will expand on the outer side of the weight. All right. And just like that, our rivet is installed. All right, back over here at the clutch. Now, in the instructions, as you can see, we have 6 weights. All right. Now, for an 850, being as it has all 6 weights, and we only got 3 in the kit, we're only going to be removing every other weight. So we're going to remove this one, and this one. And it looks to be as if it's a T25, I don't know. Yeah, T25 there, and then it's an 8mm on the other side. So, I wasn't able to find an 8mm wrench, but I was able to find an 8mm socket, so thank the Lord for that. And then got this right. Oh, that was right the first time, actually. Oh, these were not tight by any means. Yeah, I'm very impatient. Give me 1 second. Okay, impatient mode activated. Just gonna zip these off. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use this to my advantage here. There we go. Now I should be able to Pull it out like that. All right, like that. Okay, and now, oh, we got 2 shims. Forgot about these. Make sure you keep up with these little shims because they are important and you will need them. So just set them aside. As for this weight, we don't need it. Throw it away. Now, just for the sake of keeping up with parts and minimalizing the amount of bolts you might end up losing, we're going to do these one at a time. All right. Had to cut the camera there for a second. Now we back in action. So I got this one on. Now I'm going to tighten it back down. Got the sheaves back in there. Do not forget those sheaves on the end of the... They don't have to be like insanely tight because this barrel nut only lets you go down so far anyway. But get her snug. All right. And just see if we can get a little bit of extra. All right. Can't really get this socket on very far, but it's fine. Okay. Now on to the next. We've got 1 in. 2 more to go. Right. Man, these things are in there. Use something to push on it from the backside. There we go. All right. Got this one out. This one, old weight, gone. New weight, 2 sheaves. Getting these sheaves in here is probably the trickiest part of this entire operation. Getting them to line up properly. I got the first one in there very easily. Of course, it was off camera. Okay, let's take 2. See if we can get this one in here. All right. See if that's money. Almost. Got the first one in. There it is. Got it. Yes. Victory. All right. Now get that started back on. All right. Second weight is in. All right. I'm back at the foiler. We have our clutch. And this is the little cap that the spring sits in. It goes on here like so. Then you take it and you slide it on. It's got some spring pressure, so gonna have to be mindful of that. And then you take your bolt and you're gonna thread it in here. You're gonna have to compress this down at the same time. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this. Kind of gotta press the clutch down at the same time. All right, got the bolt started. like so. Now, I'm not going to tighten it just yet, but that is how you get the clutch back on there. Now it's time for the secondary. So the secondary is comprised of a few different pieces. Has a bolt right here that threads into your transmission shaft, and it does not have a sheave. It just has one washer. That's it. Okay. Then you have your old spring. You don't need this after you install this kit. Then you have your helix right here. This is your helix. And I so conveniently forgot to clean it, so I'm going to go clean it real quick. All right. Got the helix all cleaned up a little bit. It's not leaving a black residue in my hand anymore. And I'm actually going to apply some Yamalube grease on it because I don't have any special grease for it, but it is a white lithium-based compound grease that goes on this helix. So pretty much the same thing as Yamalube grease. If I can actually get some out of the tube. There we go. All right. Don't need a lot. That's all you need. And we will slide it on the end of our shaft like so. Okay. And now you have your secondary spring. Now, recall why I said secondary spring was the one with this little flange, because if you look in here inside the helix, there's this hole right there. And this spring is going to go in that hole. Like so. See the black in there? That's the spring. So now we will put this back on. And now we will take our secondary clutch right here, which I have already cleaned. And if you look down in here, right there, above my finger, there is another hole. You'll line up that hole with the other spring on, or you will line that hole up with the flange, which it will probably be easier to do if you put the spring on the primary clutch itself first. And then line it up with your helix. All right, I think I got it in there. Can't really see if I got it in there or not. I mean, it's turning, but it really doesn't mean anything. Yeah, okay, it's in there. Or you could do like this, hold the entire assembly together with your hands, and then you can slide it on there. Now this is going to be the insanely tricky
you touch my tra-la-la
part, to where you may need an extra set of hands. I don't know if I need this extra set of hands yet, but more than likely I will. So you have to really push this thing. Yeah, kind of figured that much. All right. Pull it out, make sure everything is still lined up. Yes, it is. I know I'm definitely in the way of the shot, but I'm telling you, this is a very hard process. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. Well, couldn't find my big pry bar, but I found a crowbar. So, seen the guy on the Hunterworks YouTube channel do it like this if you don't have an extra set of hands. So what he did was he got it about as close as he could. And he all right.
One eternity later.
All right. So I don't know if you saw what I did. Definitely probably didn't. Took a crowbar, put it right here on the floorboard, and then I put it like right here, and then I used my leverage to push on this at the same time as I was trying to spin the bolt in. And now we got it in. All right, guys, I'm back. We got us a new torque wrench because my other one, as you know, was broken. Big shout out to Lowe's, for not honoring my lifetime warranty for the old one, simply because I could not find a 6-year-old piece of paper that was that big. So I love that. Thanks, Lowe's. $80 down the drain. It's fine. Okay, so now I seem to have made a little bit of a critical error. I didn't put any Loctite on these bolts. Now, I'm pretty sure you could probably get away with not putting any Loctite on them. However, I'm going to, just because I'm reusing the secondary bolt, which I know you're not supposed to reuse the secondary bolt because it's a specialty bolt. You can't use it twice. Yeah, I'm using it twice. I'm not paying $20 for a bolt. Got me all the way messed up. So I'm gonna pull these clutches back off real quick. You've already seen me put them on and how I did it, so shouldn't have to. I'm not gonna film that again. I'm gonna do that off camera, and then I'm gonna show you the correct torque spec for the clutches. All right, so now we are to the portion where we can now begin to torque these down. Now, if you see, I have a screwdriver in here in this pulley. That is important. So basically, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to slide the screwdriver in the helix, which I know it's going to be very hard to see. I'm going to leave a image. I'm going to put an image like right here of the Can-Am repair manual to show you how it goes in. But the reason for this is you have to like set a preload on the spring. So in order to do that, you've got to let me see. You've got to turn it 20 degrees counterclockwise, I'm pretty sure. Yes, you got to turn the screwdriver 20 degrees counterclockwise, or you can put your screwdriver in somewhere where it'll be in a fixed position and not move, and you can turn your primary driven clutch or your secondary driven clutch 20 degrees clockwise. So that's what I'm going to do. Here's the screwdriver right here. All right. And luckily enough, I have this little exhaust shield right here that's going to hold my screwdriver in place. And as I turn this clutch clockwise, you'll feel it catch. Oh. Right there. Okay. So that catch it's engaging. The helix is now engaging in the clutch. So then that is when you will take your ratchet and start turning it in until you get it snug. Alright. Okay. Once you're to that point, now you just can twist your clutch and jiggle your screwdriver out. It'll be kind of difficult. There we go. Now your screwdriver is out and you've set your preload on your clutch properly. Now it's time to torque. So then now we have our handy dandy clutch tool again. We're gonna spin this clutch around. That's where we line up our tool in the holes, like that, okay? And then now we are going to take our torque wrench and we are going to set it to 15 foot-pounds. All right. So let's see here. It's 20. Okay, that's 20. So I need to go down 5. All right. So mine's a click style. So you got a 20, and then you're going to set it to 5 below. So if you just bring it up to 20, you'll know it's at 20 when you're even with the mark, but then also you will have a 0 right there. So you're at the 20 mark, which is on the right, and then you got your 0. Then you just turn it back to 5. Oh, a little far. All right, now we're at 5. That is 15 foot-pounds. All right. There's the click right there. So that's how we know we are at 15 foot-pounds. And then, like I said before, we'll take it and put it as close to parallel with the floor as we can and go up 90 degrees from there. So trying to get it to click one more time. There we go. All right, so 90. Then we're going to go up to straight, perpendicular with the floor like that. And then we'll come down parallel with the floor again. Another 90. Okay, so now this clutch is torqued to spec. Now for the primary, which is a lot simpler and a lot less shenanigans. Now, I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to line this tool up. Something like that, maybe. Should hold it in place. All right, we got our clutch holder in place on the primary. Now we're going to set our torque wrench to 89 foot-pounds. Okay, see, I'm at 80 right here on the torque wrench, and we're just going to raise it up to 9 right there. So now we're at the 9. Now we're good to torque this one down. Oh, wrong socket. Oh, where's my 3/4 at? Just had it. Where'd it go? Tell you what, I'm about the king of losing sockets. There we go. All right. All right. There it is. That's our click. Primary is also installed. And now it's time for us to put the belt on. I think this specific tool is actually provided by HunterWorks, not Dalton. You got a Allen keyed little stud, and it will go into the threaded spline of your secondary right here. So you just get it started in there. It's got some grease already pre-applied. And then we are going to grab just an impact, it's fine. All right, let's see here. Let's try this one. Perfect. All right, I do have it. Just got to get the right ratchet size. I'm not going to do this with an impact just because these chrome sockets are not very good with impacts. So we're just going to keep turning and turning and turning and turning, and eventually it will bottom out inside the clutch and it will start expanding right there. Like that. This is also how you check to see, make sure you did your helix right. If your clutch expands with not an insane amount of resistance, you just keep running her in. Like something like that. That should be good. Now you take your new belt. I always do mine with the lettering facing normal ways. So got made in Japan right here. So we're going to make sure if the belt was on top that we would still be able to read the letters. All right. Now we get this in. And slide it over like that. And that is the belt installed, my friends. Now we just undo our little thingamajig. All right, and then to get it to re-expand, I think you got to start it. All right. All right. Now she is installed. Now we got to put the belt box back on, but first, I got a couple extra goodies in the mail today for the belt box, so we're gonna put those on as well. I got a couple stickers for the belt box because I got all new decals for all of it. For the whole bike, I got, well, not the whole bike, but most of the bike. I got the fender decals, and I got the belt box decals, and I got the decal that goes on the back box because that decal was, if you remember, was very yellowed from the previous owner. So I got to take some brake clean and clean up these surfaces. But we got the 4x4 decal and the 850 V-twin decal that we're going to be putting on the belt box. All right, now grab some brake clean and something to scrape off all that glue. That extra glue being under there will cause the sticker not to stick very well. Just take like a little scraper or something like this, get in there and get all that glue off of the edges. And then you can just take you a shop towel and just clean it up, dry it up, and that surface is ready for a new sticker, my friend. And then we will do this one. Same process, just get up under there, get all that old stuff off. I'd already cleaned up the other one, so that's why it wasn't a whole lot to come off of that one. This one, however, this one's got a lot. Now that's also super glued this one at one point because that was, sticker was still mildly good. So there's also some super glue up in here. Focus more right here. There's still some glue. All right, there we go. So now it's time to just install the new decals. Once you get everything all nice and dry, open up your decal. I know it's kind of counterintuitive because these decals will probably just eventually come off again, but for the time being, they will make the four-wheeler look nice and new. So just take your starting point and line it up as best you can. Like that. You just take and you peel. Like that. Look at that. That is like perfect. I'll drop a link for these down in the description as well, where you can pick these up. Got them off eBay. All right, get the corner, get it up in here. Get most of this corner in there. And stick it down. And peel and swipe. Look at that, my friend. Perfect. Like they were never gone. Now we're going to throw the belt box back on the four-wheeler. Hopefully. Make sure. Oh, I had a screw fall. These screws like to come out sometimes, so be sure you keep up with these. I actually was missing one for a little bit, but I found it on the floor earlier, so you're good now. And now, just throw it back on the four-wheeler. To get the belt box on, you kind of got to line it up where you get one screw started, and then you can start another one on each side, and kind of just run it around each way. Let me get a longer extension to go in there. But once you get a couple of them started, the rest of them will line up. It's just kind of easier to do it that way instead of taking a stab and guessing the entire time. All right. Okay. You can kind of go like in an X pattern. That way it all goes on evenly. All right. Then once you get them on there, I don't like impacting belt box bolts down, especially because a lot of this stuff is either rivets or aluminum cast, and I just don't want to run the risk of them possibly leaking. So once I get them all ran on there, I guess I left this one a little loose, it's fine. Once I get them all ran down, I hand tighten them all. All right, belt box is on. Now, it's time for the best part. We're gonna ride this thing and see if I notice any difference. Before I actually do that, I'm gonna insert some clips of me doing top speed runs, and we're gonna see if we get a higher top speed run out of this clutch kit. Let me change my, oh, it was on minimum. This DPS is weird. I don't feel like a whole big lot of difference in my DPS between the modes. My shroud came off. Or it's coming off. Get down on there. right. So I ordered a GoPro mic because, you know, I've been saying for the last year that I was going to order one. Well, I went to go try it out and get it all hooked up and everything on my helmet, and sure enough, it didn't work. So there's that. Well, all right, let's get a good little top speed run on this thing here. So I'm not sure what exactly my top speed was for when I was in the field. So we're just gonna hammer it here in a minute and see what we get. Oh wow, the grass has grown insanely tall. Oh my god, it really picks up that back end. That is crazy. Yeah, I'm like, it immediately spins out. One thing I do notice is the clutch is a lot quieter with the kit, so that's a good thing. Alright, we're gonna do a 4-wheel drive launch just because my back end keeps spinning out and I don't want to squirrel. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Where the grass is thinner. That grass is messing me up big time. Oh my god. Oh lord, that's full of seeds and grass. Oh, my axles are just wrapped in it. Oh lord, have mercy. Yeah, that's gonna be fun to clean. All right, let's get out here. My radiator is probably also plugged with all those seeds now. All right. Oh yeah, radiator's nice and plugged. Okay, so this isn't gonna last very long, but let's see what we can get. I can already notice it's very snappy. It definitely turns the tires a lot easier. All right. And more. Go to run. Hi, Moo-Moos. I can't get a go to run because I keep sliding, but it is very quick and it is laying down the power a lot harder, I can tell. It is like very, very different. But it is definitely putting the power to these tires down a lot easier. Like a lot easier. I feel like I'm flying. I honestly think that speed is wrong. I'm gonna do, I'm trying to think, because I don't have a spot where I can get it up to speed, because this road isn't gonna be long enough either, but we'll try it. All right. Over here to the road. Alright. Oh, there's a log there. That would have been good. I can definitely feel it's just a lot smoother with the clutch engagement. It's not as jerky. our baseline from the bottom of the hill going up. Yeah, that would not be good to hit, for sure. Try and see what our speedometer is. Alright, reset our max speed, get it in the pocket so it doesn't go nowhere. Dude, my front tires weren't grabbing. It's so wet on this road. I couldn't get any traction. I didn't know if I was gonna brake in time. Oh Lord. It's very wet. So I don't know if I'll be able to get a good top speed run or not. Only way I'll be able to probably get a top speed run is be able to go on the road. But I'll tell you what, it feels a lot peppier. Definitely a lot peppier. Oh, don't tell me you didn't measure because I was still in the settings. Yeah, I didn't. Okay. So, I don't know. My fan's kicked on, so that means I'm probably overheating now. Oh, no, I'm still cool. Hopefully we don't get pulled over. I say 65 is probably our max. Hey, 65 miles an hour. Hey, that's highway speeds, bro. That's pretty good, honestly. All right. Oh, man. That's a workout, keeping that thing under control, going that fast. Wow. All right. So 65 is our top speed. I think the fastest I've ever actually gotten it up to in the field was 50. So That's still pretty impressive, but it does definitely turn these tires a lot easier. I mean, it'll spin them off, I'm telling you. I mean, just the throttle is so much better and so much easier. Like, I'm ready to get this thing in some mud and see how they perform in some mud, because I'm telling you, they ripped on that road and through that field. I mean, definitely a good investment for sure. Definitely turns these tires a lot better. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I actually just seen a cop drive by, so it's a good thing that I'm now off the road and done with my speed test, because that probably wouldn't have been good. But so we got her up to 65 on the highway. I'm almost guaranteeing that it will go faster if it was tuned, but don't have a tune for it right now. I'm looking into that, seeing what I can do. Considering it's a 2016 Can-Am, it's still got this like hexagonal display. You can't do, there's only certain tunes you can actually do. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna get it tuned yet. I'm still kind of looking into that, but I definitely do want to get it tuned so it'll A, run cooler, and B, be faster. So definitely something I'm looking into. Also been looking into exhausts. I know I said when I first purchased this Can-Am that I wasn't gonna put an exhaust on it, but I definitely want a more moderate, I don't want a loud, crazy loud, obnoxious exhaust. Don't want that, but I want a moderate tone exhaust. So I've been looking at HMF Titans, and I've also been looking at RPM exhausts. They are also not that loud. So I will be looking into that, and I'm sure if I ever do pull the trigger and get an exhaust, I'll make a video on it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna get this thing cleaned up, because I probably won't make a video on this because it's not really gonna be much of a video, but I'm gonna be re-adding the fender stickers because I took those off. They were all chipped away and they just didn't look good. And I also got this one right here that I'm gonna be replacing. So yeah, that is it for today's video. We got it all tidied up and looking good. Got our new, I'll tell you what, that bell box is hot. Wow. Yeah, that bell box is hot. So I did smell a little bit of belt, but I think it was probably just because it's a brand new belt, so it's not like worn in yet. Once it gets worn in, I'm sure I'll stop smelling it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.